realized that most of us don't know how to sell because we introduce ourselves in a vague way, so generic that people don't know. By the end of the day, you have said so much, but you haven't said anything. I don't know whether you get me. So allow me today to be on your case, because for you to be effective in selling, you have to be very clear in your communication. Remember, you're the only one who understands what you do. Do not assume that we know what it means. You have to be very clear. I am Winfred Wakni, Laundry Services and Supplies. We are located at here, Mobi, purely online. We offer laundry services and supply detergents. We pick up laundry from locations and also supply detergents at your doorstep. That sounds like it. Mary Wawera, Marketing Executive. I sell loans to institutions and offer mortgage solutions. Yes, that's quite clear. I'm Mona Lisa, Mama Joe's Johari Restaurant. What do you sell? People, you're assuming that a restaurant sell food. Why is it different? Yes, we know restaurants sell. So what is different about yours? Yeah. My name is Nyaoki Karaoke. I sell natural wellness and health products. Again, we don't know what you sell. Do you see how we assume that people understand our business? Anyway, this is not the conversation for today. Today, I just want to give you a brief overview, an overview of what selling is all about and how you can set yourself up to be able to start selling consistently, and daily. And now once we shall handle the other things later, especially on how do you introduce yourself and your business effectively so that people are able to look for you and you stop pushing products to people and people start coming to you for what they want. Okay, so I'll go ahead and start. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so I'll give a brief overview of selling and what it is all about, and then I'll give you an opportunity to ask questions. So by the end of this session, I just want you to fall in love with selling. I want you to keep selling no matter what the season, to always think about selling wherever you are with whoever you are with. So I just want to open your eyes to see how easy and how possible it is to sell daily and consistently. And then I'll give you 5 strategies to keep you focused on your business. And then I'll give you an offer that will give you, that will help you actually execute what you will be learning in this session. Okay, so I'll start by asking, why do we sell? Why sell? Why selling? All of us, I believe you've joined here because you own a business or you're a salesperson. And, selling is so underrated, yet it is the core of any business. And I believe that you as a business owner, you're the #1 salesperson in your business. However, what I've seen is that most business people delegate that role. You cannot delegate the selling role. You can delegate everything else, but selling is about you. Whether you're a CEO of a multinational, selling is your core business. And now I'm sure you're wondering, how does a CEO of a multinational sell? That is all they do, because you have to sell to the board members, you have to sell to other stakeholders, you have to be able to sell this vision to all the employees and all the salespeople and get the business done. So nothing happens until somebody sells something. That's how I look at selling. And we are all salespeople. Every day you're selling. If you're a parent, you have to sell the idea that good behavior will develop good character to your children. Because selling is about persuading people or influencing people to do what needs to be done or what you need them to do. So you have to really influence, persuade, make people want to do what you want them to do. So as a parent, you're always influencing, you're always persuading your children, and your children are persuading you in their own different ways. Now, the difference between those who sell effectively and those who don't, who are not effective, is now the training. Otherwise, we were all born salespeople. We were all born to sell. However, some people have perfected the art through a practice, through learning, through educating themselves, and they have become very effective in selling. That means they can be able to influence you to do whatever they want you to do. For example, pastors are daily selling. They're selling heaven. They're selling hope to us. Politicians are constantly selling, for you to vote for them. And I'm speaking about this because you're in that season. Everybody is selling because nothing happens until somebody sells something. When you have those beautiful products, your laundry, you do it so beautifully. If you don't sell to people, nothing happens. You have no money in the bank. People have not got their laundry done, and you've helped nobody. So selling is the most important thing that you can do in your life, because you're always selling. If you're looking for a job, you have to sell your skills. If you're in a work environment and you need a promotion, you have to sell yourself. So selling is all we do on a daily basis. But then, are we effective in selling? Now, selling is about listening. I know, I'm sure you have heard people saying, you're very talkative, you can sell. And I'm here to tell you that selling is not for the talkative people. Selling is for people who listen, for those who listen more. It's not for those who talk more. So if you listen, if you can be able to listen, then you'll be able to understand what the other person needs. You'll be able to understand their pains. You'll be able to understand their aspiration. You'll be able to understand what are they looking for. And then once you understand what people are looking for, then it becomes very easy, because then you provide the solution. So you look at once you listen and you understand, then you look at your product, you look at your services and see, do they meet this need that this person is looking for? And you're able to deliver that to them. So do you see that selling is not a really hard job? It's just a job of listening on the crowd. I tell people that I am one person who always fall in love with problems. So where there are challenges, where there are problems, I want to be there, and I just want to listen. And mostly you'll find me asking questions, because you can't listen. You can't just keep quiet like this. Listening is about asking good questions that will lead you to understand the deeper needs, or the deeper pains, or the deeper aspirations of the people that you're listening to. Now, once you listen, then you're able to provide the solutions. That's what selling is all about. Just listening and providing solutions. And that's what entrepreneurs do, and that's what salespeople do. And I also look at selling as a service to others. I normally tell people that God only answers prayers, people's prayers, through entrepreneurs. Show me another way that God answers prayer. When you go to God and you pray for bread, God doesn't bring, bread from heaven. The days of manna are over. They ended in the desert. So God will only provide to you bread through a baker. And for the baker to bake the bread, there has to be a farmer who farmed wheat. So do you see that the only way for God to answer people's prayers is through salespeople and entrepreneurs? Because salespeople will make sure that there is delivery that is done. Okay. And these are I combine entrepreneurs and salespeople in one, because I do not see the difference. Because the difference with the entrepreneur is that they have built the product, and they have to make sure they get to the market. They have to make sure that people who are praying, their prayers are being answered. If you're in real estate and I'm here praying for a home in a certain location, and every day I'm waking up to even fast and pray, yet you're not letting me know that you have it, then it is you who is a hindrance to my prayer. So I look at selling as the biggest service to humanity. And why if you realize that in any business, everybody is selling in one way or the other. And let me give an example. The marketing team are sales enablers. So they enable selling. The HR, because they have to recruit the right people in the right places, they are enabling sales. The IT team should be enabling sales. The accountant should be enabling sales. Everybody in the business should be thinking about this customer and how we can effectively, support the customer to love our product and to achieve their goals through our products and services. Okay. And the other way I look at selling is that it puts you ahead of the pack. So the more you sell, the more you understand people, the more you become more patient, you become more resilient, you become more lovable, more likable, and you make more money. So basically, it puts you ahead of the pack. That whatever else you may choose to do, you'll be very successful. I've read many books and I've realized that the most successful entrepreneurs are very, very effective salespeople. So if you want to be effective and to succeed in your business, you have to learn the skills that enables you to sell and keep selling more and more. And selling is not an accident. There are things I call accidental sales. I'm an author of the book called The Sell Me This Pen. And I talk a lot about the accidental sales, whereby today you sell, and then you go for a week or two, and then you sell. Those are accidental sales because you can't even explain how you sold. There's no consistency. You don't even understand the whole process because you're disconnected from the whole process of selling. So selling puts you ahead of the pack. And finally, selling is about helping your customers succeed with your product. So all you do, once the customer has gotten your product, they have gotten your service, it is always important to follow up and find out, were you successful? Did you utilize the product the way you wanted? Did it help you? Did I help you become better through this product or service? So I hope by now you feel better about selling. I know many people fear selling. They're afraid of selling. I don't know why. So you can tell me in the chat. Tell me. So what new have you learned through this? And why have you not been selling? Please share with me in the chat. Why have you not been selling? Closing the sale has been my challenge. Okay, we look at that. Jerry, please unmute and tell us what your challenge has been, why you've not been selling.
It feels like begging.
I like that. Yes, it feels like you're begging. And you see, none of us want to be a beggar. Margaret, please go ahead.
Personally, I've been in the industry, I've been in the IT industry for over 5 years now. The aggression of selling is not a problem, but as time goes on, the loyal clients that you thought you had, they all of a sudden they start replacing you. You go there, they're like, Margaret, you got somebody else. They start giving you different stories, and you're like, yeah. Just, I thought I had loyal clients. Now I'm back to the drawing board. That is one. The other thing is, another challenge I'm having is selling new things. For example, like when you're selling items, you find that technology, as I mentioned, I'm in the IT, technology keeps on changing. I'm having the challenges of keeping up to date with the new technology. When you get something new, starting to sell to a client what is new, they are stuck in the old. When you're selling the old, they want the new. So unashinda tu, like, what are you going to sell? And also pricing. I am also I'm having the dilemma of how are you going to price your item? When you're going to sell, what's the best price you're going to give a client? When you're underquote, you don't make much margins. When you overquote, you don't sell. So you're like, now this selling is becoming a roller coaster. Yeah.
Oh, and I mean, people have a lot of things with selling. Somebody else here is saying the main challenge is understanding my target market and pricing. I'm a brand coach. Yes, that's a big challenge with many SMEs. How to effectively sell service, e.g. in hospital setup, selling in, and there are so many. You guys have a lot of questions we can't even cover today. You know, your loyal customers live in you. And as you're going to see as you progress, you realize that most of these things that happen is because you've not understood the whole science of selling. You know, closing a sale is not a problem if you have done the right thing. Because what is closing? You know, closing the sale is basically getting the money from the customer, and a customer cannot pay you if they haven't found value. So if you're not closing, it means you're not adding value, you know, or they haven't seen value. They can't compare, they cannot connect what you're asking them to pay and the value you're giving. So it's a whole process. And allow me to just take you on this journey. It's many things and it requires many days. And after this, I will ask you to join a challenge that you do, the 5 days challenge. And I'm sure we'll tackle most of these things, like, you know, understanding your customer and the whole process of selling. Rose says, competitor offering lower prices. You know, again, price objection, because then it means that you're not unique. Your business is not unique, because, or you have not articulated your uniqueness. You get into price war when customer, you cannot differentiate your product. And it's a difficult one, because if you're not, if you don't have big money, you're not going to win in that. Yeah, people you thought needed your services seem not to be interested, and make market penetration. That is people not accepting new outlet seeking. Yeah, it's many things. And I've just mentioned one of the things. It could be your business is not unique. I don't know what you sell, Rose. What is it that you sell? Because anytime you get into a price war, just know that customers cannot differentiate you. They are comparing you. Why should I buy this at this cost when I can get it in the next shop? It's like when you have so many kiosks on one road, why should someone buy your milk and not the other shop's milk? What differentiates you? Yeah, and sometimes you may not differentiate the product. It could be you bringing your personality into the whole product, so that then people like you and want to do business with you. Yeah, losing out on big clients after going through the entire tendering process and being among the last 2 because of things I feel I have no control over. Again, this is where tender business is very tricky, because that's where every SME is going into. And so you may need to look at your business and ask, are you relying on a few big clients, or would you want to create a business that you have many small customers who are consistently buying from you? That way you're able to build slower. It will be slower, but it will be sure. And nobody will take away your customers from you. I'll give you an example. Bismart is actually an insurance agency. And we realized that tender business, government business and those big company business is the red ocean. When I say red ocean, it is like, where the sharks are really fighting, and it is bloody. It means that to get into that murky waters, you either need to have a lot of muscles in terms of finances, and you know what goes on in this country when it comes to tender business, or you have something that nobody else has. And now in insurance, there's nothing unique, it's the same products across the board. And so we decided that we're going to focus on retail, mass market, individuals, business owners, small business people like you. And that's how we decided to, for us to reach many people who are not paying us big money. They're paying, that's small money, but we want many of them. So we build a platform and we asked, what is this that will make people want to buy from us? And so we offered, what we sell is transparency in the industry, that you're able to know what you're covered for and what you're not covered for in advance before you buy. You get my point? So anyway, and you may need to reevaluate and ask yourself, is this something I can do? Do I have the muscles to play in the red ocean? Because clearly, Rita, you're playing in a red ocean, and you may need to rethink your product. Okay. What else? What was the other question? There was, I think I talked about the issue of closing the sale. Yes. Closing the sale is so at the tail end, and you cannot close the sale if you've not done the first, the whole process right. And so one of the things that we train at 20X is the science of selling. It's a science because it has a logical and systematic way of doing things and to give you certain results. So it means if you just follow that science, you will get those results consistently. So I will not want to talk about closing the sale because it means that there are many processes that you've missed for you not to close the sale. And those are the processes like, for example, targeting. Did you target the right customers? Okay, so beginning from there, do you even know your customer to begin with? Okay, did you target right? Now, after targeting, were you able to, to understand the customer need properly, so that then you provide the right solution in terms of you're able to pitch a solution that fits them. Okay, and once you pitch, if, for example, you have targeted Eunice, I am your customer, and you have listened to me and you know what I need, and you can see that your product meets that need, and you give it to me, why would I not buy? So closing becomes it's not, how do I put it? It becomes automatic once you do the right thing, once you target the right people, and once you understand their needs and you give them the solution to the need. I hope I'm helping. So keep them coming as I continue. Keep those questions coming. All right. So there are many reasons why you don't sell, but I think many of those reasons are excuses. People are saying after election. No, it's after election. Why are they not buying even now? People are complaining about economy. That again is not true, because when some people don't have money, others have a lot of money. And I keep saying, if you don't have money, you're the only one. So don't hide and keep telling everybody that hakuna pesa, kumekuwa kugumu. No, it is you. So the other people who have money, ask yourself, as a salesperson, you need to be a nomad, or like the wildebeest. You migrate where the money is, so that then you don't catch yourself joining in complaining with everybody else. Because the truth of the matter is, yes, the economy is bad, but there are people who are maximizing on that bad economy and making it big. So the question you should be asking is, why don't I have money? Not that hakuna pesa. Don't be conclusive. Be a seeker and not don't be conclusive in whatever belief you have. Ask questions so that then you open up your mind for possibilities. And let me give an example. During the election period, there were a lot of people complaining and saying, wow, it's hard. The economy is so bad. People are not buying. And I remember I started the 5 days pre-election challenge. And the people who joined, we got about 12 people who joined that challenge. And what is most amazing, and I hope I'll be able to share with you some of the testimonials that I got through that, is that somebody who had even written a CV to go back to work, to look for a job because of the election, was able to open their business throughout the election period, and they sold more than they have ever sold before. So what does that tell you? It's in the mind. It is in your, it's what you entertain is what you get. The Bible says that as a man thinketh, so he is. So if you think that it is really bad, then you are that way. But I want to tell you this morning that if you are not having money, we are not all of us, hatuko pamoja na wewe, you are the one who doesn't have it. Okay. Now, once you recognize that, and I hope you don't find like, some people say I am talking badly. No, please understand, I'm trying to emphasize the importance of your attitude and how you feel about the situation. My belief is that every bad situation comes with great opportunities. So when you find a bad situation, your question should be, and I believe most of you are Christians by looking at your names, is to ask God, this is, this situation is hard. What would you want me to do in this situation? And you will get ideas, because God is the one who gives us ideas. He's the one, the Bible says that he gives us the ability to generate wealth. But because we want to fit in the society, like somebody said, one of the reasons why you're not selling is because of you feel like you're begging. And why do you feel like you're begging? Because the society has, they have this myth that salespeople are beggars, or they're, I remember when I started selling insurance, I was told that now I've become a hawker, I have become a con woman, I've become, that I was coming from a job that is very respected, and I was moving to this job of selling life insurance. And all the people around me told me how I should not have done it, because how do you go to school and then you start hawking? So yes, those are societal mentality. And when we decide to fit in, then we become broke. And that's not the intention of God, because God intends us to generate wealth. And how do we generate wealth? By adding value to people. And how do you add value to people? You need to know what they need. And once you know what they need, you provide the solution that they need. Is that begging? Is that begging? That is not begging. That is solving people's problems. So start changing your mentality from a beggar to who needs my product? Who is having the problem that I solve? And from even your introduction, one of the biggest challenges that you have is to be able to articulate, to identify who actually needs your product and what pain they have. So that then you can say, for example, I help entrepreneurs and salespeople to consistently sell daily. That is what I help, because that is the biggest challenge, that once in a while you make a sale, but that is not a sustainable business. That is an accidental business. So I help you to daily sell and keep selling consistently. And that's the only way to scale the business. That is what I do, okay? Others is a fear, what will people think, and it's true. The stigma is real when you decide to stand out as a salesperson. The stigma is real because you're living in this society. That's why you need to develop the mental muscle that you need to be able to overcome the fear, because fear will always be there. I can tell you, I'm normally afraid a lot of the times. But then I normally, before I do anything, what I ask is, what is the worst that can happen? And I figure out the worst possibilities. Maybe people will not like me, or people will feel I'm too much, I'm too pushy, or I'm too hooky. And then I say, okay, how many are likely to feel that way? My evaluation, I realize, is less than 5%. So if it's only less than 5% who feel that way, I have a whole 95% people to serve. So Eunice, go out and serve, because 95% of your target customers need you. Okay, so yes, the fear is real, but then how do you overcome? Ask yourself the worst that can happen and go in and do it. And then the other thing is the negative energy. You know, who do you surround yourself with? Are you in the right environment? Are you in an environment where people are just looking for reasons not to do things, and excuses, not reasons, but excuses not to achieve what they set out to achieve? So surround yourself with the right people. The Bible says that do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals. And all these things are written in the Quran and the Bible. You know, if you want to understand how to do your business effectively, then just read your Bible. It is very clear. You know, I know the lawyers are busy in court saying the law is very clear. And now I'm here busy telling you that it is very clear that bad company ruins good morals. So basically, all the problems you're talking about sales begin in your mindset. You know, it begins on how do you feel about it? How do you see it? Of course, once that happens, once you sort your attitude, once you set the ball rolling, the next thing is to learn, how do I do it? You know, what is the process? Because sales is a science. You know, how can I do it? And that's what we help you do that until when you close the sale and you keep closing and you keep your customers. I've seen somebody say that, you know, loyal customer leaving you. If you understand the whole science of selling, your loyal customers will not leave you. What they will do, they will tell you, your competition is doing 1, 2, 3. They will ask you, can you do it for us? They will not go away. So it means there's something that is missing in your process, and that we can always diagnose. Sisi ndio daktari wa hizo maneno. Okay? Keep typing your questions. I'll come back to them. Yeah, I'll come back to your questions, but just keep them coming. Let me just share a little bit of my journey so that you know why I do what I do, and you know, where we've come from, and why I believe you can do it too. I studied chemistry and mathematics at the Chiromo campus. I can confidently say that I shared university with one of the president-elects, because I hear there are two. Yeah, and after that, I worked in a pharmaceutical company as a lab technician, briefly. And then I also did a bit of med rep. Med repping is selling pharmaceutical products to doctors. But then I didn't do well. I didn't understand selling. And then also I think I was selling the wrong product, or rather my company had really a bad name at that time in the market. So I did not succeed in that. Then in 2003, I joined an ICT company, a training institution, whereby that is where I learned training. We went through a whole rigorous process of management of learning, and the trainer that I am is attributed to that. And then after doing that, I was actually voted best trainer, and there was a very scientific way of identifying the best trainer. And one of the measure was how many students were willing to recommend the institution to their friends. So students used to fill a form, and one of the questions was, how much are you willing to recommend the institution? And that is the first touch I had with how important it is to satisfy your customer. Because if a student said not willing to recommend, you would lose 4 points. If they say they were willing to recommend, you'll get 1 point. If they say that not very willing, you see, willing but not very willing, you would lose. You would get 0. And that means if you had 3 students, one said I will highly recommend, so that is 1 mark. The other one says that somehow recommend, you get a 0. And the other one says, I will not recommend, you get -4. So overall, you get -3. And that was such a big blow because that mark was attributed, or rather had a reward. So my first class, I got a -6. And I cried. I went to the toilet, I cried the whole day. I went to the boss and what could I have done different? And when we investigated, we realized that 2 students that said were not willing to recommend was because one of them had gone home and they had not come back they didn't come back to class. They missed 2 classes. And I did not call to find out what the challenge was. And just for them to come back and say they had gone for a burial and they felt that I did not care. And this was the first touch I had with how important it is to care about your customer, not just about the money they're giving you, but about what happened. You've not come back. What is happening? Just checking on them. And that could lead to, losing your loyal customers to your competition. Just by not very small things that you need to learn to take care of the customer. So after that, I became the best trainer in ICT. And then, of course, I studied a lot of technical courses, Microsoft System Engineer, advanced diploma in computer studies, so many things. And most importantly is I resigned from that job after training for 5 years. And I started selling life insurance, and that was the hardest job I've ever done. It took me 3 months to sell 1 policy. And that means I was earning 0 for 3 months because it was based on commission. Fast forward, I was able to be very successful. And I remember 2012, 2013, I was able to do 5 times, to grow my sales 5 times in that year. And after that, I got a job as a country sales manager in microinsurance. That time they were making losses, and within my first year in that business, we were able to turn the losses into millions of profit. And this is, of course, the energy that I brought in the organization, turning everybody to be a salesperson, from underwriters to claims managers, to see how whatever they do is connected to selling, to our ability to sell. And that transformed the business. And in 2017, I resigned from that job and I founded BSmart, the online insurance comparison platform. And all what we were doing is to build transparency in the insurance industry, to reduce the complaints of, I was not told, I did not know this is not covered. And that business is going on. It's now 5 years old. And right now, I'm not fully there because I have a strong team that is doing amazing job in the business. All right. And in 2020, difficult year, I was able to order a book, Sell Me This Pen. When COVID happened, as I said, always look for challenges and find opportunities in that. I had always wanted to order a book. Then COVID happens. And I was like, God, what do we do in this season? And, God dropped an idea, order that book. So Sell Me This Pen is a book on sales. You can get a copy. Those who will join the 5 days challenge, you'll have a free e-copy online. Okay. In 2021, we were able to grow our number of customers 7 times. And all this is because I am a sales enabler. Of course, I started as selling directly, but now I enable my team to sell, come up with ideas that can help them scale the business all the time. And that's what I'm doing now with you. I started doing this training this year, March this year. So 20X Entrepreneurs was founded 1st of March. And the name suggests 20X is to say, when you come to us, this is our first touch with you, this free webinar. And our dream for you is that you will be able to grow your business 20 times in 2 to 3 years. And why is that? If I personally was able to grow my sales 5 times, my business is able to grow at the number 7 times in 1 year, how much more can you do in 2 or 3 years? And I picked a number 20X. So when you see 20X, is our dream for you that when you join us, you will be able to grow your business 20 times because you will be able to understand the fundamentals of selling. And I actually only share what I have done to get the results I've gotten, because it's a science. So if you can understand what I do to get the results I get, then you will get those same results. And it does not matter what product or service you're selling. The customer is a customer. So you just need to understand the science. How do I get them buying and keeping on buying? And how do I keep them succeeding? Please allow me to give you some strategies of how you can set yourself up, just very foundational, very general, to set yourself up to become a successful salesperson or a successful entrepreneur. One, you need a compelling vision. You need a big vision. What do you want to achieve? It needs to be very clear. It needs to be very clear in your mind and put it in the wall or whatever you want to do. Mine in 2013 was doing 5 times what I had done in 2012. In 2021, it was actually, again, we had planned to do 3 times, but we did 7 times. So make it meaningful to you. I always share my vision with others, share it with everybody else. I know Kenyans fear to share your ideas and your vision. Unfortunately, on your own, if you don't share it with other people, it will die as quickly as the circumstances around you affects you. Stay in touch with that vision and connect with it daily. So put it somewhere where when you wake up, it's the first thing you see, and be very intentional in how you live. So I'm just giving you high level. Strategy number 2, now break that vision into small goals, monthly, if, for example, you want to build a house in 3 years, how much will it cost? Say it will cost you 12 million. Divide that by 3. That means every year you need 4 million. Divide the 4 million by 12. What do you get? So that is your target every month. So what is this? Break it down to monthly. And you even go deeper. Break it down into weekly and daily. What is it that you want to achieve? Break it down such that every month you know whether you're winning or not winning. And strategy number 3, you have a strong why, a very compelling why. Why do you want to achieve it? Why is it so important? For me, to say I wanted to do 5 times my sales was one of my, my mentors asked me, Eunice, what would happen if you earned 500,000 shillings? That time I think I was earning about 200,000 per month. And for once in my life, I got shocked. Wait a minute, can Eunice earn 500,000? And first, top of my head, what I told them is that my husband would leave me, the thinking, the old way of thinking. And he asked me, who told you that your husband doesn't want a successful wife? And I couldn't answer that question. And so I said, I'm going to challenge myself to earn this 500,000 so that I see what would happen. And that was so strong. And the other thing is I was struggling with many things. In the previous year, 2012, I was going through a lot of trauma. We had been attacked in our house and so many bad things had happened. And I was struggling with depression. And I needed to get out of that. I needed to give myself some self-worth. So it was a combination of, a number of strong why I needed to achieve. I don't know what your why is, but you need to be so strong, because without a strong why, then your dream is going to be hollow and shallow. So have a very strong why you need to achieve it. Some of you, it could be you're in so much debt and your family is struggling. Some of you could be a dream. You want to buy that dream car or that house. It could be anything, whatever it is. It needs to be so strong and so inspiring. Somebody said that people are not lazy. They only have important goals. So make it, give your goal some potence, make it fertile. Because if it is not strong, every morning when something, for example, say the Supreme Court nullifies the election, it is going to throw you off balance. And you forget that as much as there are financial challenges, there are other people who don't have those challenges. I need to find them because I am in a position to find those people and to find those who need my product. And number 4, enlist people who will support you. Who is this that you need to support you? Is it a coach? One of the things that I always do when I want to achieve a big result, I enlist the services of a coach. I pay to be coached. I have had so many different coaches at different phases of my life. And it pays off because you may know what to do, but doing it is the hardest thing. There's always a gap between what you know and what you do. You can Google about selling on, Google it. How do I close a sale? You will get a lot of answers. But then why don't you still not close? It's because there's always a gap between what you know and what you do. You need someone, you need help. It could be your employees. Mine, I can tell you, and you may think this is small, but my house help is the most important employee I have. Because once my house is sorted, then I can be able to go out and conquer big mountains. So I enlist them. When I want to achieve a big goal, I tell them, I need your help. I need your support. I have this big goal. We cannot afford not to achieve it. And therefore, I will ask you to sacrifice, sometimes some of your offs for us to achieve this goal. And of course, and it could be your team, your sales team, or your employees in the office. Enlist them, your spouse and your kids. Enlist them. They are part of this journey. Do not isolate your life. Do not imagine at any one time that your business is separate from your life. It's a lie. It's very hard to separate those because when your home is not working out, then your business will not work out. That's my personal experience. I don't know your experience. It could be your best customers. Those customers you saying they are loyal to you. This could be the moment you go to them and say, look, I need to break this barrier. I need to break free and scale this business. And I need 1, 2, 3 from you. Could you support me? And people are willing to help. Okay, number 5, visualize. Who will you become? Michelle Obama is my, she's one woman that I really look up to. I love her. I like her. And she said that, she wrote the book about becoming. And one thing I got out of this is that it is not what you achieve. It is who you become when you're trying to achieve what you have set your mind to achieve. Are you going to become more self-disciplined? Are you going to become more patient? Are you to be more control, self-control? Are you going to be, lean? These are my pictures in the mountains. I like hiking. So when I'm achieving big goals, I normally start with what I consider small goals. I deal with my relationship with food. I have learned that in life, food is very sweet. It's very, it's very addictive. And so when I want to achieve big goals, I start by my relationship with food. I cut off all food that makes me addicted. And because I want to lose desire for food so that then I can be light, the Bible says, I read this verse, that lay off all the weight that entangles you so that you can run the race that God has kept ahead of you. And so I take it literally. I want to shed off all the weight, physical. Now, once I do physical, my mental weight also goes, and my emotional baggages also go, because I feel good, I feel light, and it translates into every aspect of my life. And when that happens, believe you me, you will achieve that vision that you've already set in our strategy number 1. Okay? So those are the 5 strategies. And as I promised, I have something I need to, I don't want to leave you with nothing. I have something that I know will transform your business. It will transform the way you look at your business, and it will set you up to start selling every day and consistently. And this is the 5 days challenge. I'm sure you've seen me market this, and maybe you've never paid attention. And this is what I have for you. It is starting on Monday, actually, 29th. We do this twice a month. This one is starting on Monday, 29th up to that. And this is a 5 days of laser focus on your business, on how your sales happen, basically helping you create a process, create a process that enables you to sell every day consistently. So you'll not worry about closing the sale, because sales will be closed so long as you have that process. So on day one, we'll take you through a journey of the freedom. Of course, we'll go into details on your vision, okay, and help you break it down into manageable portions. And then we look at who is this customer who will help you achieve that vision, okay? So you'll be able to identify your customer who has, the customers who have money and the need for your product. I know somebody said, you are unable to know who your target customer is. This is what we take you through on day one. And there are a lot of these assignments that you have to do that is geared towards you setting that process. On day two, we take you through what we call the surprising math, the many ways of killing the cat, whereby you're looking at, yes, this is the customer I'm looking for. How can we, how many ways can we target them? And again, look at lead generation. Now, this is where you begin now generating leads on a daily basis, okay? And then on day three, we look at the 64-4 rule, whereby we say that all customers are not the same. Some are more, it's like the shamba la wanyama. Wanyama wote ni sawa, lakini kuna wengine sawa kuliko wengine. All animals are equal, but some are more equal. And we're going to look at who are these customers who are more equal than other customers. So basically taking you through a journey of customer discovery. And then we look at the objection handling. How do you handle objections like price objection? Price objection, I will, talk to me next week. Let me ask my spouse, that kind of objections. How do we handle them? And we will share the 20X blueprint. How do you move from, how do you build your business from where it is to achieving the 20X? And then finally on day 5, we look at how do you close the sale? And as I said, it becomes so easy, and you realize how easy it is to close the sale once you have all this process set up. Selling is a science. If you forget everything else, it is a process. And once you set the process, you will keep selling every day. All right, so that's the 5 days challenge. It is for you as an entrepreneur. If you're struggling to sell daily and consistently, this is for you. If you have stagnated or plateaued in your sales, that is a bad place to be. It's boring to be on a plateau. I hike a lot. And what I hate most in hiking is the plateaus, the moorlands, because you walk for a long distance and you can't see ahead. It's just boring. Yeah. If you want to make this year, yes, you have a few months remaining. Do you want to make it your best year? This is for you. If you're spending more than you're making, it is for you. If you believe that tough times can create bigger opportunities, please join us starting on Monday. If this 5 days is valued at 15,000 shillings, but we're giving it to you at 3,000 if you pay by 28, which is Sunday midnight. And then you will join us on 29. All right, the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. So stop talking, stop complaining, start doing. And I've given you a clear way to start doing. So in summary, you need to have a compelling vision, break it down into measurable and achievable goals, have a strong why, enlist the right people. And I'm requesting you to enlist me to be your coach. And believe you me, you will not regret.